Alrighty guys, so this one is going to get started with a 20 off 100 for WildFork.com. And look, I worked real hard to get this coupon. That is 20 off 100 online and now also 20 off 100 in store. So look, it is a rainy day here in the Garden State, so I want to apologize if you pick up any noise on the microphone. And over the past few months, I have been throwing down briskets and got it pretty narrowed down to what I feel is the most simplest form of making a successful brisket cook. And I am going to take you step by step on that today. So look, the method I am going to do on today's show, we are going to smoke the brisket right up to the stall. At that point, I am going to boat the brisket, take it right up to toothpick tender, and that should be anywhere between 8, 9, 10 hours or so. And then we will get it in the house, get it in the oven, hot hold it for up to 24 hours. I will show you all the methods on how that works. And look, this is my preferred method to do a brisket. There is nothing worse than telling the wife the brisket will be done at 5 o'clock and you are still waiting for it to finish and it is 4:30 and you don't even have enough time to rest hold it. So this way you can leisurely take your time, get the brisket done, get it in the oven, let it sit there 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours, whatever. And when you are ready to serve, take that brisket out of the oven. It is no frills, it is no hassle, it is no headache. It is easily the fun way to do a brisket. And this is all going to go down on my brand new Oklahoma Joe Tahoma 900. So you are going to want to stay tuned to see how she does. So look, what I want to do here is I want to turn the clocks back 24 hours. You can go 24 hours up to 48 hours. And I want to get that brisket prepped. At that point, I will bring you guys back and we will fire up my Oklahoma Joe Tahoma. Now let's start the show. Alrighty guys, so look, we are gonna dry brine this brisket in the fridge 24 to 48 hours before we are gonna get it on the pit. And the first thing you are gonna wanna do is take it out of the wrapping, give it a quick dry off. And once you get that all dried off, we are gonna do just a basic backyard trim. If you've never trimmed a brisket before, no frets about it. The first thing you wanna do is take that outer edge band off. This is probably gonna be a little browned up. You wanna shape the brisket. You wanna get it as aerodynamic as possible. Once you get all that outer bredge off, you're probably gonna have some silver skin on the back. You can carefully shave that off. From there, flip it back over and let's work on that fat cap. You wanna leave about a 1/4 inch all the way around on top. You are gonna have some hard there. You wanna get rid of that. Anything hard, anything that is not gonna break down, get it off. This is a 12-pound brisket. This is a prime brisket, so that is gonna be fine. Once you get your brisket all cleaned up, it is now time to talk about the rub. So when it comes to rubs, your choices are simple. It is either going to be kosher salt and 16 mesh black pepper or kosher salt and 16 mesh black pepper and a little bit of granulated garlic. That is it. Leave all the fancy rubs in the cabinet. So basically what I like to do is I like to mix this stuff up in batches. I have a formula down in the description. You can read that. There are even links straight to Amazon. So you can order your black pepper in pound and also kosher salt, or pick up the kosher salt at your local market. So again, mix it up in batches, keep it in the cabinet and you will always have it. And basically I will start on the side without the fat cap. The fat cap is gonna be more of a presentation side. You wanna get plenty of rub on it. Make sure you get every spot, flip it over. Now hit that fat cap side. Get plenty of salt on it. Do not forget all the outer edges. Once you get that salted up, you are gonna get it on a tray with a rack where it is gonna go sit in the fridge uncovered for 24 to 48 hours. So look, while that is resting in the fridge, I will bring you guys back in a bit. It'll probably be nighttime by then, and we will fire up my Oklahoma Joe Tahoma 900. So this one's gonna start with a full bag of Kingsford Blue. That is a 16-pound bag. We will load that up the day before. And as all these gravity feds, this Tahoma 900 is no difference. We will get those fire starters started up. Make sure you keep everything open, the hopper box and also the hood for the pit. Wait about 4 or 5 minutes till that smoke starts willowing up. And I gotta tell you, man, there is nothing better than that smoke coming up over the horizon before the sun hits the land. For me, there is no better feeling than that. After about 5-6 minutes or so, you can shut that hopper lid and also get on over now to that control panel and fire that up. We are gonna set that temp to 250 Fahrenheit. Now look, little word of warning here, little advice here. The Masterbuilt, the fan kicks right on these Oklahoma Joe Tahomas. It may take about 4 or 5 minutes for that fan to kick on. That is completely normal. And I can tell you, once this pit is dialed in at that 250 or so, she sits right there throughout the whole cook. And we will have more on that in a little bit. I am gonna monitor this whole cook with my chef's temp wireless. I mean, I've used plenty of these wireless in the past, and this is the only one that really works for me. I've got information on this chef's temp down in the description. So we are looking to get that brisket in middle shelf. If you saw my biscuit test with this pit, that is the sweet spot. And I will also get a tray with water underneath it, shut it down. We are gonna let this bad boy run for 3 hours without checking it. At that time, I will bring you guys back. So by now you should have developed a nice bark. Hours 3, 4, 5, and 6. I am just gonna spritz it with plain old water. You can go water or apple cider vinegar. Things to check, just make sure it is cooking nice and evenly. Again, if you saw my biscuit test, you know it is. Any pooling, you can get it off with a little bit of paper towel. Other than that, just spritz it, close it, wait, spritz it, close it, wait, spritz it, close it, wait. You know the deal. Usually at that hour 6 and 7, I will start checking it. Basically by then you should be in the stall. At that time, I will bring you guys back and show you what the next step is. Alrighty guys, so look, we are coming up on hour 7 and we are clearly sitting in the stall. We are reading 165 Fahrenheit and it has been sitting there now for probably a good solid half hour, 45 minutes. So the only thing here really to check, as long as you are good with the bark, I am in with the bark. It is okay. It isn't the best I've ever had, but because I am hot holding it in the oven probably for 18 to 24 hours, it is going to be good enough. So basically off the pit it comes, into the shack it comes. I've got 2 sheets of heavy duty foil all laid out. Of course, we are going to boat the brisket, and as far as I am concerned, boating the brisket is the way I am going to do it from here on out. I have never been a fan of wrapping a brisket in foil, and certainly have never been a fan of wrapping it in butcher paper. I do not like the steam effect. I do not like the odor that it emits. So boating it will be, and if you've never boated it, give it a try. Just make sure you wrap that foil to the inner. Once you get it all foiled up, all boated up, we are going to get it back in the pit and let it run at 250 to 275 until toothpick tender. At that time, I will bring you guys back. So this one's going to come in right at about 8 hours. Remember, we are working with a prime brisket, and that is going to cook a little bit faster than, say, a choice. So your mileage here will definitely vary. Now again, because my method is going to be a hot hold, probably up for 24 hours, I am going to pull it off just a tad early, just a tad under 200. But as you can see, she is definitely toothpick tender, and that is very important. You do not want to pull it soon where there still is a little bit of tug, because it is not going to break down that much in the stove. So again, just under 200 and toothpick tender, and you should be good to go. Leave it in the foil, but if you have any liquid pooling up on the bottom, you do not want to braise the brisket, so make sure you pour that out. So guys, real important here, once you get the brisket out of the pit, get it next to the stove, set that stove at that 175, get your thermometer back in the brisket. You want to let it come down. We took it out about 195, 196 or so. I am going to let that sit there for maybe about 2 hours. Let it come down to about 170, even 160. Once those targets are hit, at that point, you can get it in the stove. We will just let it sit there for, again, up to 24 hours or so. We are going to be dealing with some weather, so I will have to make sure I got a good break in the weather. Once all that is confirmed, I will bring you guys back. We will get it in the shack, cut it open, see how we did, and close out the show. Alrighty guys, look, as we get this out of the stove, we will get this here on the board, and keep in mind, I will have a total rundown on this cook on how long each section of the cook took. I'll have that when I bring this in live. But for now, let's get this on the board. We are gonna slice it right down the middle. And of course, you know it, we gotta get some money shots in, maybe a little bit of squeeze here and there. Because I mean, after all, what is a good brisket cook without a couple good money shots? So what I wanna do here is let's get a couple slices off. Let's just let that camera run. And we are looking at about 30 seconds or so of money shots. At that time, I will bring you guys back in live. We will do that taste test and close out the show. So guys, look, first off, how did the Oklahoma Joe do? Since this was really a maiden voyage, I mean, look, the brisket is always the maiden voyage, and I can tell you the Oklahoma Joe totally nailed it. I mean, 250, she sat there, the smoke never stopped, nothing got hung up. You know, there was no problems. I mean, the pit just ran as beautiful as any cook that I have ever done with a Masterbuilt. That is very important to get in there. Somebody just asked me the question what I would take the Oklahoma Joe or one of the Masterbuilts, and as it sits now, even though that I named the 1050 the winner over this Oklahoma Joe, I would still take this Oklahoma Joe as it sits right now over the Masterbuilt. I mean, we've got new Masterbuilts coming, so we shall see. But this pit here is an absolute gem to run and an absolute champ. And as you could see, the brisket, man, we nailed it through the roof. Again, I apologize for the weather. We had to get this one in here though, and look, man, WildFork, if you've never ordered from WildFork, that coupon is only going to be good up till the end of March. That is in store and also online. You're going to want to take advantage of that. They've got the beef ribs, they've got the brisket, you name it, they got it. And all of it is priced right. And we will have a lot more WildFork's cooks coming, that is for sure. And what could you say about this? This is an absolutely beauty, man. This is a gem, there is no doubt about it. I've got some cut up here. I've taken about 3 or 4 bites, taken the snaps and so forth, and I can tell you it is smoking good, man. That is for sure. Easily one of the best briskets that I've ever smoked, and I gotta tell you, the 24 to 48 hour brine, cook, the hot hold, the boat, it is all perfect. It is all so easy to do. And here is the stats for those that are interested. We dry brined it for 24 hours. We then cooked it for 8. We held it at the stove for that temperature to come down for 2. And then we put it in the stove to hot hold it there for probably about 20 hours or so. And I could have went a little bit longer, but I did have a break in the weather, so I wanted to get it in. That there, my friends, is the way you do a brisket. There is no what time is it going to be done, what time is it going to be done. It's not done. The wife, the kids are laughing at you behind your back. That is all for naught now. This is the way to go. Quick taste test and we will close out the show. Guys, that is perfect. That is brisket 101. I mean, I'm going to try to do a brisket a month. I've got one lined up to do next month already. This is an amazing way to cook a brisket, and again, that 20 off makes it a little bit more easy. So that is going to close out this show. I appreciate you all for watching. Again, my name is Tommy. Kudos to the Oklahoma Joe for nailing it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the description. I've got some beef dino ribs also purchased at WildFork coming next, so you're going to want to stay tuned to that. And until next time, my name is Tommy, and I will see you soon.